This is a small video in order to show how to mount the Sprayjet module on an 1800-2 paver. First of all, you have to dismount the complete big size roof, inclusive the front and back support. Afterwards, you have to mount the front support and the back support, and of course the half-size roof. Afterwards, you have to dismount the right seat completely, inclusive the support and also the railing, what is usually mounted here. And you don't forget to dismount the ground plate on the operator station, because you have to make the electric connections to the machine down there. And after you mounted the Sprayjet module, you can fit this small ground plate to close the gap in the ground. After you did this, you can mount this step, what is including the bitumen distribution. So this is the line coming from the Sprayjet module with pressure to the distributor. The distributor is connected to the nozzles on the left side, behind the left track, in the front side of the machine, behind the right track and the right bar. Afterwards, the material is coming back to the tank reservoir again. The side bars are mounted like this, and opening and closing when the screed is opened and closed. After they are mounted, the angle sensors can be adjusted so that the angle of the bar is correctly shown in the menu. Behind the track you see the other two bars, and in the front below are another 6 bars, and on the other side the same. Hydraulic and air pressure connections are just made with these 3 tubes. Electric connections, like I told before, just 3 cables. In order to explain the system itself, it's good to have a small diagram. Here you have the bitumen reservoir. This is the bitumen pump. Here you see the nozzles and the distributor. The system is including 2 valves, before, in front and after the pump, to choose different modes. First of all, when you start the machine, you can heat up the reservoir and the pump itself with electric heat pipes. After the material and the pump is warm, you can try to start the pump either by choosing the menu, or here using this lever just to try to get the pump turning a little bit. After that, you can choose in the menu to turn on the pump. And then afterwards you can choose this lever, like shown here, for circulating the material inside of the pump module, the Sprayjet module, so it's everything heated up. Afterwards, when this is done, you can choose this valve to make a connection downside to the complete system. In this case, in the very first moment, it's better to open this bypass valve, because when you start, the material is sucking into the pump, pressurized here, going to the valves, going back in the back pressure line, and then usually in work mode this bypass valve is closed and the material has to go through here. So in the system is a 3 bar pressure, but in the very first moment, just to heat up, to circulate the material, it's easier for the pump when you open this valve, so the material has more diameters, diameter to go easily to the reservoir again. After work you can also choose this valve to take don't suck the material from the reservoir but from this line, and here you are able to either push a little bit with air pressure or to use some cleaning emulsion to clean the system. In order to heat up, you have to have enough material inside of the reservoir. So this is the lever to show you how much material is inside, and here is a sensor mounted recognizing if there is enough material. When I pull down a little bit, you see the sensor is switched off. When this sensor is switched off, the machine is not starting the heating. In the main menu you can then choose different mode types with this mode switch. For example, circulation is mode 3. In this moment the circulating the bitumen pump will start, and because it's circulating the hot material to the system, the complete system is heated up. Number 4 means this is the automatic mode for work. You see it also here which mode is chosen, and for example number 6 is a test mode. In the test mode you have another test tab here to test each nozzle for the bitumen spraying. Inside of the display you see which nozzles are activated and which are deactivated. Right now these bars on the left and right side are accordingly to the angle. All of the nozzles are activated, just not the last two, because you can switch off here with these two levers the last two nozzles. In case the angle is getting smaller, also these two nozzles will be switched off automatically accordingly on the right side. Furthermore, you see here the temperature of the reservoir, the pressure inside of the bitumen circuit, and the RPM of the bitumen pump. If it's turned on and no RPM is shown, then you have to wait until it's getting hot so it can turn around. Here you can choose how much material you want to spray on per square meter. Start the heating, just you have to have enough material inside of the tank. The machine has to be running, and then you can choose either in the menu the heating for the reservoir and also for the pump itself. These are the two valves, what I have been talking before. This is the bitumen pump, and this is the bypass valve, what is reducing the diameter from the back line to the tank. When the machine is hot you have to close it. And these two valves, the position is explained here and also in the manuals, but basically it's just, this is for the suction, to choose where the machine is sucking its material. Like this, the material is coming out of the reservoir. When you turn it, it will suck the material from this connection, and this is basically a tube going into the backside for air pressure. This is after work to clean the system with air pressure. After the pump you can choose if the material is going back to the tank or going to the bitumen system. In order to test each nozzle you can turn this to the number 6 test mode. Go inside the menu, you have this extra test button when this is on mode 6. In this moment you can choose which nozzle to test, like this one. You see this is the left bar, and then you can test if the nozzle is working. Right now the machine is turned off. Of course it will not work. Also you have to activate the pump. I just forgot. So when the nozzle tries to spray, the pump has to have a 3-bar pressure in the bitumen system. This is the diagram showing the air pressure system. Basically the air pressure system is used to open the nozzles. Each nozzle, this is the compressor delivering air pressure to the nozzles of the machine, and each nozzle is consisting of one electric valve, what is, when the electric signal is coming, opening the way for the air. The air pressure is opening the valve for the bitumen.